Well, here we are again. I'm sorry I haven't done anything in a while. For the few people that enjoy my content, I'm sorry I haven't posted frequently. Usually, I only post when I have a really cool idea, and, well, here we are. I've had this idea for a very long time. When I first finished Omori, I felt a fundamental need to make a video since it was such a sensational experience. And typically, I only upload something high effort if I'm passionate about it. Believe it or not, I had a laundry list of video topics to upload about, but I found the editing process to be pretty boring, so I would get excited to make something, realize how much time it would take, and then just forget about it. But this video has been there from the start, and after a small Omori resurgence I've had in the last week or two, I felt the need to come back and actually make it. This is a topic I haven't seen anyone cover on YouTube, so a few weeks ago I decided I'd cover it. However, after doing literally nothing Omori related for like half a year, my knowledge of the game was a little lacking, so I decided I'd play through the game again to remember everything I'd need to know. And well, I'm finished with replaying it and my mind is full of things to say. So, welcome to an actually new topic, the elements of the supernatural within Omori. That's probably the title, I don't know, I'll change it if I end up finding a better name when it's time to upload. Before I begin, I do want to clarify the purpose of this video. Yes, Omori is not focused on the supernatural. Every time I bring this video idea up, people always say, well, that's not what the game focuses on, and they're right. But a game can focus on something, and have hints/other things in the game that shed light on a different subject. I have seen people be iffy about this topic in the past, and saying how it can demystify the game. The purpose of this video will be to make a case for the presence of the supernatural in the game, and explaining how they interact with the world, and what evidence there is to support it actually existing. At the end, I'll give my own opinion, but this video is bringing to light evidence I found that makes the conversation interesting. Got it? Alright, let's begin. So, where do I even begin? It's gonna be hard to organize my thoughts, but I'll try to do my best. I have some main points, so I guess I'll go over them all in no particular order. Let's first begin with Ghost Omori. This is by far the strongest case for the supernatural existing within the Omori universe. Ghost Omori appears at night on 2 days left when you invite Kel and Hiro over to your house, she starts playing the piano. Naturally, you'd think it's a hallucination, but Hiro walks in and said he thought he heard music. Now, this is quite literally coming out of the gate swinging in favor of the supernatural existing. One thing I do want to note is this specific box of dialogue from Hiro. He says how the piano doesn't have any dust on it. When I first saw this, I didn't really think anything of it, but looking at it further, why would Omocat include this? Like, okay, seriously. It's entirely possible that Sony's mom was cleaning it in remembrance of Mari, but let's take a look at this clip. Saw that? Now, let me spell it out for you. Hiro talks about the piano and how there's no dust on it. After leaving the room, the piano begins making noise, and if you go into the mom's room, you see Mari and she disappears. Now, honest question, considering all of that, how likely is it that Mari was the one cleaning the piano? I know it sounds crazy, and I'm not sure if I fully believe it, since the mom could easily be the one cleaning it, but just take a second and ask why in the world would Omocat include the line of the piano being clean only for the piano to play itself when you leave and then make you see Mari in mom's room. It's not rock solid, but there is just something that I want you to think about. There is one more notable Ghost Omori interaction, but I want to quickly segue into the white egret orchid. This is what convinced me to make the video in its entirety. You see the orchid, you don't really think of it much, pretty normal, but just think about it. My thoughts will follow you into your dreams. It sounds like it's just for show, but who are the two characters tied to the orchid? Mari and Basil. Mari is heavily associated with the white egret orchid, as it's beside her gravestone and she's laying in a field of them in the black space entrance. The decision to put an egret orchid next to her grave and all around her coffin in blackspace is significant because she already has a flower she's associated with. Every character has a flower they're associated with, and Mari is associated with Lily of the Valley. Now, what does the orchid mean again? Oh yeah, this is a nice transition into Ghost Mari quite literally following Sunny into his dreams. The Mari in this scene is not Headspace Mari as she actively walks around and follows Omori, which Omori restricted her not to do. She also alludes to the truth, calls Omori by his real name, Sunny, and then turns into Ghost Mari in his dreams and then disappears, with the addition of the curtain being there. Watch the short to learn more about it. And then, the next time you see Mari, she's not the same, and Omori is shaken up. I don't know about you, but this seems like she's quite literally following Sunny into his dreams. On the topic of the white egret orchid, how about Stranger Basil? Out of all of the characters in the game to have an orchid in their house in faraway town, Basil is the only one to actually have one. Now, Basil. Does Basil follow Sunny into his dreams? Yup, Stranger Basil. The first time you see Stranger Basil speak, guess what's in the room? A white egret orchid. How convenient. Oh yeah, you see Ghost Mari in the Lost Library as well? Huh, that's weird. I thought the first time you saw her was at the scene I just mentioned. Hey, what's that all around the library? More orchids! In the Lost Library, the two characters who are most heavily associated with Sunny, and also share a connection to the white egret orchid, make an appearance. I could go on and on with Stranger Basil's dialogue relating to Sunny, but I don't know how likely it is that Stranger is an apparition of Basil that Sunny made. Basil's thoughts are literally following him into his dream, which seems pretty supernatural, and his thoughts all go against what Omori is trying to do, which is to repress everything. Oh yeah, here's another important thing. Basil and Sunny can see each other's somethings. That's kind of strange, don't you think? Basil and Sunny both have their own trauma demons, and they can see each other's trauma demons. That's the whole reason Sunny loses his eye in their confrontation. Seeing the physical manifestation of someone else's trauma is pretty strange to me. This one doesn't come up often, but it is pretty convincing. Okay. That was a lot of information. So, to recap pretty quickly. Ghost Mari makes noise that Hiro and Sunny both hear, and may also be cleaning the piano in Sunny's house. The existence of the white egret orchid seems to imply a supernatural ability for you to visit someone else's dreams, and the only two characters that are connected to the orchid in any way seem to possess a greater understanding of what's going on, referring to Omori and Sunny, and seeing past what Headspace actually is. This is stronger for Ghost Mari since her ghost literally visits him in his dream, which I heavily doubt is an apparition, because of how the curtain and how Omori reacts afterwards. And then finally, Basil and Sunny can see each other's trauma demons. Ooh, okay, this video is a little shorter than usual, but it still contains a lot of information to think about. Surely there's nothing else to talk about, right? Oh, right. I doubt many of you have ever seen this fella's dialogue before. In order to see it, you need to learn the shroom cunning technique in a secret area in Sweetheart's castle, leave Sproutmole Village immediately after defeating Sweetheart instead of going to the library, travel all the way to Orange Oasis, and then finally interact with the silly dancing old guy. I don't see anyone talking about this dialogue, and I've only seen it once, but it is very significant. Like, look at this, look at this, look at all of this. Just take a second to look at this, and just think, what in the world does all of this mean? Headspace has been around since the beginning of time. Okay, that's obviously referring to Sunny creating this place. Mr. Outback is 33,000 years old. I guess if you count that countless Headspace resets, then maybe that's plausible. But then, this piece of dialogue, this single piece of dialogue, it looks different to anyone, but this time around. And that's a pretty powerful imagination. Like, what am I supposed to think? This could be referring to Sunny resetting Headspace over and over again to create an ideal world, but that seems very unlikely because we reset Headspace ourselves in the Hikikomori route, and nothing of the actual world itself changes, only areas that threaten the truth. Additionally, the oldest, wisest, and favorite have always been around, and all three of them seem pretty hard to incorporate in any individual world that Sunny creates. They all fit in perfectly in this world, Headspace. Additionally, Mr. Outback calls Headspace big, and frankly, it'd be pretty difficult to hide Abby away if the world wasn't big to begin with. So, what do I actually think about this dialogue? I actually have no idea. I just thought it'd be a good idea to include it since it might reinforce what I've been talking about. Once again, It might be referring to Sunny creating headspace and then refining it to be perfect for himself, but specifying that it looks different to everyone suggests that Sunny isn't the only one that has created a headspace. Okay, I'm finished. I just want to remind you that I'm not exactly trying to convince you that the supernatural exists. I'm just showing you the case for its existence and letting you decide if you believe in it or not after you finish the video. Me personally though, well, I think that elements of the supernatural absolutely exist in the game. Most stories that you think of may be fantasy or otherwise realistic settings, and Omori is my favorite story of all time, which also happens to be an otherwise scientifically backed and plausible game. Any sort of mystification introduced in these stories can rub people the wrong way, but I honestly feel like Omori introduced these concepts just enough for the supernatural to not be outright confirmed and require some more deliberation. And if it does exist, I think it was definitely used sparingly enough to not demystify the game at all. Looking at all the evidence, I'm personally convinced, but you might not be. I encourage you to think about this topic and ask yourself if it does exist or not. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going back into hibernation once again.